Do not make these claims. I run, at this point, a very serious company who handles a lot of different jobs and tasks, and I do not appreciate the slander that you are throwing towards my company. If you continue to lie and purport that my company is sending you death threats or purporting my followers to send you death threats, we'll take legal action against you.
Some of you might be wondering what in the world is going on and how did we get here? Well, I'm going to explain everything to you in this video. It all starts with the Acolyte, episode 4. But before I begin, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. And if you're new here, why not subscribe? It's a free thing you could do that helps us out. I really appreciate it. So let me bring everyone up to speed. In the Acolyte episode 4, and if you don't know what's going on with that, you could check out my other video. I explained it all there. They introduced Keanu Monday. That's what I call him. You know, the Conehead Jedi from the prequels who says the Sith hasn't been around for 1,000 years. Well, that just sent some shockwaves online. And the people that are enjoying the show, per se, are saying, you never cared about this character. Why do you care that he's in here? And why do you care, you know, that some of the lore is broken? You guys just need to stop. Well, during Star Wars Theory's live stream, Wikipedia was literally changing his background, his date of birth, and everything to match what was happening in the Acolyte. And while Theory was live to thousands of people, the chat was spiraling saying, hey, go to Wikipedia. They changed it. They just changed it. And he went over there and checked it out for himself. This is where it gets kind of ugly. Wikipedia puts out a statement saying, we aren't going to mince words on this one. If your response to an editor adding a date to an article on Wikipedia is to tell them you hope they and their pets die, you are not a Star Wars fan. Hate like that has no place here, and you are not welcome in our community. Now, I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, I didn't find any proof. They didn't post any proof. So because they changed the date exactly right after the show to match the Acolyte, there were people online that were like, look, you're just covering for Disney Star Wars. You're just doing that, right? And they put out a statement saying, hey, we're getting death threats because we changed the date. Now, that set off a whole bunch of other people in the Star Wars fandom, and they decided that, you know, we're going to put the blame on someone. You guessed it. They put the blame on Star Wars Theory. Why? Because he's the biggest Star Wars YouTuber out there. He has the most influence, and he speaks his mind freely. If he likes something in Star Wars, he shares it. If he doesn't, he shares it. He's not controlled by the corporate. He doesn't get invited to Lucasfilm. He doesn't get gift packages from Star Wars, you know? He does his own thing. That's why he's number one. And because he's not really liking the Acolyte, people are upset with him because they wanted him to fall in line. They wanted him to stand up and say, this is the greatest Star Wars ever. And he's not doing it. So he's the problem, and he is the biggest target. And you're not going to believe what these people are saying. Check this out. I believe this is the tweet that started it all. This is Ash. She says, hey, tagged Real Star Wars Theory. These are your people sending death threats with zero proof whatsoever. Time to rein them in. Condemn what they're doing. Time to put your money where your mouth is and back up your be respectful spiel you always say. You literally are saying that Theory says be respectful, like he always does in his live streams, in his videos, countless times. He always says, don't go after this person. Don't say anything to this person. Don't do that. Be respectful. Like what you like, dislike what you dislike. You literally said this in your second paragraph, that this is what Theory says. But now you want to control him and have him do something else because you made a accusation with no evidence whatsoever. And of course, she deletes it. You see that, you know, after she gets caught, she thought she did something here. She thought she did something really cool here. but she got caught, and we'll continue on with her. Check this one out. Now, Isabella doesn't tag Star Wars Theory, but everybody knows who she's talking about here. Building a platform by referencing Wikipedia daily to make lore videos and then turning on them, crying conspiracy, and inciting violence in the fandom because you don't like an update to an article about an alien's lifespan is effing crazy. Inciting violence. This person just decided to throw that in there, and with zero evidence. No, it was weird that Wikipedia changed it right after the show to try to align themselves with Disney Star Wars. It was weird. And no, he wasn't crying about it. He caught them red-handed, and we all talked about it. He wasn't the only one. There were tons of other videos out there about them changing it. But you decided that you want to say that Theory is inciting violence. The first response was, did he directly incite violence? With no answer. No answer. The person under there was just like, yeah, did he? You didn't answer that, did you? But you want to throw that out there. You did good, though. You did good by not specifically saying his name. But yeah. Remember that girl, Ash, that tagged Star Wars Theory? Well, Theory had enough, and he responded. He says, politely, F yourself. These aren't my people. Don't attach that to me, or there will be serious consequences for you. These are people on their own. Nothing to do with me. Please find where I have instructed people to send death threats to anyone. Quite the opposite. In fact, 8 years I've taken death and art threats to my past partners, poison threats to my mailbox, threats to my parents and animals, daily, nonstop. First for liking episode 9, then when I changed my mind. Where the F was anyone then? Where the F were you when I was being laughed at for crying to Luke Skywalker? You joined in. In fact, alongside Pablo and Lucasfilm taking jabs at me publicly. That's how it was handled. And I just had to take it, because that's what I do. Bullied as a kid for liking Star Wars, and then again as an adult. Ash, after being called out, says, replies are locked. Theory saw it. Theory replied to it. It's over with. Do not attack Theory. Do not antagonize Theory. If you're not a fan of his, block and move on. And again, do not send death threats to Theory or anyone. It's time to move on. And then she deleted her post. Not one apology for assuming he did something wrong. Not one, you know what, I got this wrong. Sorry about that. It's he saw it, so now it's over with. Then Ash makes this weird video like, we got to stand together in this tough time as Star Wars fans. Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously cringe. Like seriously, you started this and now you're playing victim. It's embarrassing. It really is. Maybe if Ash was keeping score, she would see that Theory gets mocked and bullied every single day on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. This post was put out June 18th. What are your thoughts on Star Wars Theory? And if you look at the quote tweets, it's some of the most disgusting, hate-filled rants that you could ever find. People calling him all kinds of names under the sun. People wanting him to self-delete, things like that. And he doesn't really respond. He just kind of lets it go. I know he sees that it's out there, but what can he do? But people like Ash assume that it's Theory, and all these other people. Listen, this video could be 2 hours long of all the stuff that I collected of people accusing Star Wars Theory of inciting violence to Wikipedia. But that ain't the kicker. That's not the kicker. The whole thing is because of Wikipedia. Get ready for this. A one Pete Feltzer who runs Around the Galaxy podcast, who trashes Star Wars Theory on his live streams and on social media at least every other day. Here's just one. This one's from June 18th, where he just, no matter what Theory does, Theory made a little joke video. It was funny. Everybody laughed. And Pete took it as a way to jab at him, to stab at him, which he does on a religious basis. Maybe someone should call Pete, and tell him to stop. But no. Theory's the problem, right? So Pete decides to quote tweet Star Wars Theory's response to Ash. Pete, who has constantly trashed Star Wars Theory on his YouTube channel, his podcast, and on his social media, now has the nerve to quote tweet and say, it's time that Theory uses his platform, his reach, and his influence to denounce the threats and the attacks. So now he wants to control Star Wars Theory, right? With the largest voice in the Star Wars community, simply casually covering his own butt with "remember, be respectful" doesn't cut it. Silence is endorsement. Are you freaking serious, Pete? He says it. You literally put it in the tweet that he tells people to be respectful. And now you're saying, wait. He says be respectful, but now he's silent. Make up your freaking mind. These people are... Sorry, I'm getting a little loud. It's not normal here. It's just aggravating because no matter what you do is never enough for these weirdos. It is never enough. Star Wars Theory could bow to this man's demands and he will still never be satisfied until Star Wars Theory probably deletes all his videos, just completely removes himself from all social media and just never says anything again. Maybe he'll be happy. The nerve of this guy, like I said, who constantly trashes Star Wars Theory on a daily basis. Just go to his Twitter thread. That's all you got to see. Is now saying you need to do this because your silence is making you guilty. Well, I'm glad he quote tweeted that because all that from the beginning comes around to this. Wikipedia responding to Pete says, it's telling that we didn't get any threats until immediately after he, meaning Star Wars Theory, told his followers to fix Wikipedia. The ones that came to vandalize the site from that are the ones we got the threats from. And there ain't no evidence on that. Star Wars Theory responds in a video he released on Twitter and his YouTube channel.
For the watch party, and you guys were spamming chat like crazy, like check Wikipedia, they just changed it. And I did, and I reacted to it. I'm like, holy crap, they're actually changing it in real time with like no reason whatsoever, just because the show says so and like changes everything like that. What was pre-established for they had what they had written for however many years, and then they just boom like that change it on a show that really makes no sense and has no business putting Kiadi in there. So now, I guess because I'm making good arguments, they have a few psychos, a few assholes that are going around sending them death threats. And now their audience and they themselves are purporting that I am the one sending these threats. It is me, my responsibility, my fan base, my people. And I made a statement on X, on Twitter, that is erroneous, that is ridiculous. How many times do I have to make videos where I denounce this kind of behavior? I mean, if we're going to start measuring death threats, I think I take the frickin' prize for that one. Do not make these claims. I run, at this point, a very serious company who handles a lot of different jobs and tasks, and I do not appreciate the slander that you are throwing towards my company. If you continue to lie and purport that my company is sending you death threats or purporting my followers to send you death threats, will take legal action against you. Do not like that defamation. You are quite a big presence. You're not a little shrimp fry on Twitter with a couple followers. If you continue, I will file a lawsuit against you. I'm telling you right now. That being said, no, I do not condone death threats. I've never sent fans against anybody to send death threats. People have free will. Just like they're sent towards me, they can be sent towards anybody. People are assholes. There's asshole people everywhere. I can't control that. All I can do is say, be respectful. What do you think that means? Be respectful, but hey, send death threats. I'd appreciate it if you and anyone else trying to defame the company would stop. You persist, we can take it from there. You know, you did something that people didn't like. I know firsthand when you do stuff like that. people will have a reaction. It's on the internet. So that's it. That's all I got to say about it. So didn't want to make a statement, don't have to upload a video about it, but you know, it's now to the point where you're slandering my company, and I want to. This is the first step.
If you would like to see the entire video that Star Wars Theory put out, I will link it in the top of the description. Just one more thing, I guess I should say. This video was made with my own opinion of the events that I saw taking place. Nobody asked me to make it. I just did it because I think this is relevant to see. There's a certain side of the fandom that are saying, "Oh, it's toxic. We gotta come together. We gotta have peace." And yet, it seems like that same side are the ones that are causing a lot of division. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hey, we got 4 episodes left of The Acolyte. You guys ready? This is a wild, wild Star Wars month, if you ask me. I'm out.